Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan with Peachjar. Hope you're doing well. Just want to make sure you guys can see my screen and hear my audio as well. All right, we're just going to give another minute or two just to see if we get any last-minute stragglers hop in, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us today on this webinar brought to you by Peachjar. Again, my name is Ryan Ta, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, millennials. So thanks for joining us again. We'll be sending out a recording of this webinar after, as a follow-up to the meeting. So let's go and get started. So again, my name is Ryan, and I work for a company called Peachjar. I'm the senior account executive here. Just a little bit of information about myself. I am 27 years old, which makes me a millennial, so you could call me a subject matter expert. And a few things about me. My favorite TV shows is Friends. My favorite brand is Nike, and if you could tell by that picture at the bottom left there, my not-so-secret obsession is Disney. Now, I was always told to never start a PowerPoint slide with just bullet points. So that's exactly how I'm going to start today's presentation, being the millennial rebel that I am. You're going to see a lot of data, a lot of analysis, a lot of research done. And if you'd like to be connected to any of these, feel free to reach out to me at the end of this webinar. So what are we going to cover today? Number one, why bother? Why is this important? Number two, then we'll break down exactly what a millennial is, talk about their characteristics, a little bit about how they think. We're going to spend the bulk of our time today on the top 5 best practices on how to communicate with a millennial. And we're going to end it with a lot of Q&A. So if you have a question while I'm going through everything, feel free to type that in, and I'll try to get to those at the very end of this webinar. So let's get started. Why are millennials important? Why does this topic matter? Well, that's because right now, 43% of current parents in your schools are already millennials. They're already almost half of the parents we're trying to communicate to. But it's not just right now, because 9 out of 10 new parents are millennials. So like it or not, we're coming. Like it or not, we're going to be the majority of the parents you have to communicate with in the coming years. More and more today, we're seeing competition, and it's competition for our kids, for our families, to attract and retain them in our school districts. As communicators, as leaders, we have to understand who our audience is and how to deliver a message so that they can consume it and to attract their attention. So let's talk about the characteristics of millennials. Number one, they're born between 1980 and 1998, which makes them between the ages of 18 and 36. They're described as young, hungry, and hopeful, so they're very optimistic and a very driven generation. I'm sure a lot of you can attest to this, but we love to provide feedback, whether it be positive or negative. We're also extremely socially connected. The majority of millennials have more than 200 friends on Facebook. We have followers on Twitter, whether it be internationally, nationally, people we've never even met before. So we're extremely socially connected. We're also 2.5 times more likely to be an early adopter of new technologies. So a lot of you might be asking, what's an early adopter? Think about your smartphone. The people who are early adopters are the ones who are first in line at the Apple Store when the iPhone 7 comes out. If you had to ask someone what they thought about their cell phone, their brand new iPhone 7, you're not the early adopter, your friend is. And millennials are 2.5 times more likely to be that person. They're also the most educated and most in debt. As a generation, we actually have the most college degrees, but we also owe the most money on those college degrees. The average amount that a person owes post-college is about $30,000. Millennials are also the most brand loyal generation. You actually saw earlier my favorite brand is Nike. If I'm playing football, if I'm playing basketball, whatever it may be, I have the swoosh all over me from head to toe. It's the only brand I wear. If you have our trust as a generation, you have us for life. We're also described as constant consumers of information, constantly consuming and digesting info, and there's no such thing as too much. It's all easily compacted onto our cell phones. So you're probably asking yourselves, okay, if they're constantly consuming information, how do I break through the clutter? Well, as our friend Bill Gates says, content is king. It's all about your content. It's about what your content is, how you're creating your content, and where you're delivering your content. So with that, let's hop into the top 5 best practices on creating your content for millennials and how to communicate with them. Number 1, you have to use visuals. Visuals are processed 60,000 times faster than standard text. They get 53% more likes, 104% more comments, and 84% more click-throughs, clearly by just having visuals. If you don't believe me, let's take a quick test. What catches your eye a little bit better? If you're scrolling down your Facebook page, you're looking at your Twitter, and you see the word puppies. Everyone loves puppies, right? You might get a stop, might get a like there. But if you're scrolling down and you see the picture of puppies, oh my God, how adorable are those 3? Aw, you're going to want to like it, you're going to share it, I'm going to repost. I might share this again tomorrow just so everyone can see it, because you have to share those puppies. So which one catches your eye better? As part of my job here at Peachjar, I do a lot of research into your schools as a prospective parent and as a current parent. And I cannot tell you how many times I see information on an open house that looks something like this, right? Black and white, kind of plain. It's cool. I get the information I need. I have to search for it a little bit, though. But what if I insert a visual and a little bit of color? Which one catches your eye? Which one are you more likely to stop on? Which one tells you exactly what it is much quicker? All right, simply by using pictures. So in short, use pictures. Colored visuals increase the willingness to read content by 80% just by inserting a picture on it. The cool thing about the internet nowadays, color is free. You don't have to pay extra for it like you would with print. So use colors and use visuals. Number 2, content with relevant images get 94% more views. Who wouldn't want more views on their content that they're generating? That's why we're spending so much time so that it could be seen. Simply by putting on an image, you're going to get 94% more views than if you don't have an image. So use pictures. But it's not just pictures. Don't be scared to use some video as well. Because videos in an email lead to 203% increase in a click-through rate. So you should absolutely, if you can, include a video in there. Generate your own videos. Having a video on a landing page, let's say someone were to click on it and there's another video on that landing page, increases conversion by 80%. So conversions can be anything from a sign-up, from a registration, from a purchase. Just because you have a video, you're going to have 80% more conversions. Our next webinar next month is actually going to be on video, so definitely sign up for that. That's going to be on the lookout for that. So all that's why you should definitely include some sort of visual, whether it be a picture or a video in your content. Number 2, make it snackable. Quick and easy. As simple and as easy as possible to digest. Why? Let's take a pop quiz. What is the average attention span of a human being? Is it A, more than a minute, B, between 30 seconds and a minute, or C, less than 30 seconds? So while we take a peek at that, I'll let you read one of my favorite e-cards. The attention span of a human being is actually 8 seconds. That is less than a goldfish. So with that in mind, don't make us jump through hoops. Don't make us jump through fires in order to see your information. Make it easy for us, right? Don't make it too wordy where we have to sit there and read line by line before we understand what's going on. Here's a big one. Don't just post links or make us download information on a website. How many of you would actually click through the 6th, 7th, or 8th link there? Most of us might make it to the 2nd one, maybe the 3rd, right? Your parents are thinking the same thing. They're not going to read every single link and download every single one before they see what they want. And worst of all, don't make us wait. When we're downloading information and we're waiting for those 6 or 7 megabytes to download, that's the worst for us as millennials, especially with our 8-second attention span. We actually call that little rainbow wheel the spinning circle of death, because we would rather die than wait for information to load. So I always tell people, when you're generating content, think sushi. Okay, well, what do you mean, Ryan? I actually took one of my friends out for dinner for her, or for lunch for her birthday, and she was craving sushi all day. Actually, she was craving it all week. So we took her out, sat down. This is what our menu looked like. Now, I don't know the difference between a Godzilla's meltdown or a heaven on a plate. Heaven on a plate sounds pretty good, though, right? But the thing is, I have to sit there and read every single ingredient line by line before I can figure out what I want. I kid you not, after 35 seconds, she looked at the menu, threw it away, and said, I want a teriyaki chicken bowl. She was too lazy to read every single item, even though she was craving sushi all week. Now imagine if we had sat down and our menu looked like this. Red dragon roll, cherry blossom roll. Very easy for me to see the content, digest the content, and make a decision and understand what's going on. That way she would actually gotten what she wanted. So think sushi when you're generating your content. Things to keep in mind. Number 1, keep it colorful, brief, yet informative. Like a sushi menu, right? Reduce the amount of clicks to see your information. Some schools I call into asking for a newsletter, they'll tell me, yeah, it's really simple to find the newsletter. Go through the community tab. Under the community tab, look for recent news. Under the recent news tab, look for the month. Under the month, you'll find the newsletter where you can now finally download. That's 6 clicks, 7 clicks before I even see your information. If each page were to take 1 second, you've already taken up more than half of my attention span. So reduce the amount of clicks to see your information. Is it all in one spot? And speaking of videos, keep it between 60 and 90 seconds. That's about the optimum level for videos. If you really think about it, 60 seconds is almost 4 or 5 times your attention span. So definitely make it snackable. Number 3, make it mobile. I talk to a lot of school districts and they tell me, our parents don't have computers at home. I 100% agree with you. They don't. They have smartphones. As a matter of fact, Pew Research did a national study and they found 3 groups rely on smartphones for internet access at home. They only use smartphones for the internet because they don't have a computer. Those 3 groups are younger adults, number 1, aka millennials. Number 2, low-income families. And number 3, non-whites, Latinos being the number 1 fastest group adopting smartphones, not cell phones. So some stats on millennials and their smartphones. Number 1, 80% of them check their phone first thing in the morning. There's when you could be sending out your content. That's the first thing they touch. For me, after I hit this news button about 12 times in the morning, that's the first thing I grab to check the news on my Twitter or my Facebook. Millennials will also use 2 to 3 devices per day. Just a stat on average Americans, they actually look at their phone 46 times a day. I'm probably around the 106, 107 times a day. I'm a little addicted to my cell phone, but there's the average for everybody. So if a millennial is telling you they didn't get your text, they didn't get your phone call, they're probably lying. Let's take a peek at how consumers buy. They take a multi-device path to purchase. What does that mean? 65% of them start on a smartphone, then they hop over, 61% of them will hop over to a laptop, and some of them move to a tablet. There's your 2 to 3 devices per day. Share a personal story with you. I just got recently engaged. So one of the first things I needed to go and purchase was a tuxedo. So what did I do? Start on my smartphone, look up some tuxes, Googled it. I found one on Macy's and on Men's Warehouse that I really liked. So I need to look a little bit bigger, check a little bit more information. I hop onto a laptop. Here I am, getting all the information I wanted. That's all I needed. I actually made an appointment to the store. I now have my tux. So that's how I'm making my purchase. But it's not just purchases. It's for all research. If you think about it, my smartphone is on my hip all the time. So any sort of research I do from a tuxedo, now the next thing I'm going to need to look at is the venue. Start on a smartphone, look on the laptop for more information, maybe even a tablet. There's my venue. My fiance and I want to have a kid in the future. We're going to need to look for the best hospital. So start on a smartphone, move to the laptop, continue on a tablet. And when that kid grows up and I need to put him into a school, guess how I'm going to find my schools? I'm going to start on a smartphone. I'm going to look at your mobile website. Then I move to my laptop for more info if I need it, and then onto a tablet. So again, it's not for all purchase. It's not for just purchases. It's for all research. So knowing that, what should you do? As you can probably guess, start on a smartphone. Mobile optimize your website. Look at the website on the left. Look at the website on the right. Which one would you rather scroll through? Which one would you rather click a link through? Which one is easier for you to navigate page by page? I have this problem. I have fat thumbs. I've hit the wrong link about 8 times. Then it loads the wrong page. Then I have to click back to reload that page. And then I'm all over the place. I get a little frustrated with myself. With a mobile optimized website, I don't have to worry about that, the phone on the right. Scroll through, click the link. If I see that little MLB thing at the very top there, I can click on that. It's very simple for me. It's much easier for me to see on my smartphone. 85% of consumers will leave a web page if it's poorly designed. You're going to lose almost everyone who goes to your web page if you don't have it properly designed. So definitely mobile optimize your website. Number 2, you should absolutely email your parents. I've seen surveys, I've seen studies nationwide, district by district, and email is still the #1 choice for busy parents. Not intrusive. It's simple. It sits in their inbox. They can figure out what's going on, and they can check it when they need to. Here's a picture of what our service at Peachjar does. It does send the email for parents. It's a visually engaging email. You can even embed videos in it, so I mentioned that a little bit earlier. But is your email interactive? Is there a call to action? Are you tracking the metrics on your email? Are you able to see who's opened it, who's clicked on it, to change your messaging to something that works? So you should absolutely email your parents. What else do you do? I always recommend getting a district app. It's a one-stop shop for every single one of your digital mediums. How simple would it be for you to sit there, check your child's Facebook, check your lunch balance, check their grades, check their flyers, see all the news, all in one spot for parents. On top of that, you can even send out push notifications so you can notify parents to check your app. Highly recommend getting a district app. Still on the topic of mobile, what else should you do? Social media. This was actually our webinar from last month, talking about the tips and tricks, and we'll definitely send that out for y'all as well. But just a little tidbit: 75% of parents are using social media, and 50% of millennials comment or like a friend's post daily. They are actively inside of their social media using it on a daily basis. So you should meet them there. Just a little quick example on how you should generate your Facebook post or your social media post. Let's take a look at Uncle Phil and Will. Right? Which one catches your eye more? Which one are you more likely to stop? Which one are you more likely to like, comment, or share? Clearly it's Phil's, or I'm sorry, Will's, right? But why? Let's take a peek at it. Number one, he included a picture. Bonus points for the funny meme. We love memes around here at Peachjar. Number two, there's a link to more content. There could be a link to your bond referendum. There could be a link to your press release. There could be a link to whatever content you are sending out. Also, I'm sure will, but he'll reply quickly. Reply quickly to your parents. They expect that. They want that feedback. So there's an example of a social media post. Another thing I always love sharing, share some personality. Right? This isn't your button-up press release anymore. It's social media. You're allowed to be funny. You're allowed to show a little humor, snark, as some districts I work with call it. Here's some examples of how you could show some personality in your social media. Also, blogs. Here's an example of a superintendent's blog for a school district. 33% of millennials rely on blogs before they buy something. Here's a great way for a superintendent to connect with your families, share some recent news, share their Twitter updates and all that, newsletters, that type of thing. A blog is a great way to reach out to millennials, as a lot of them are starting to research those before they buy products or anything like that. Definitely look into blogs. And with all that, that's how you make everything mobile for parents. Number four, make it emotional. Tug at the heartstrings a little bit. Why? Because 50% of millennials are willing to do a call to action if it supports a cause. And actually, 72% are willing to recommend a brand if it supports a cause. What's your cause at your district? What better cause than the education of kids? If you support that cause, if you show that you're supporting the cause, they're willing to put their kids in your schools. If you support that cause, 72% of millennials are willing to recommend your district to a friend. Just an example of why causes matter. Here's an example of Tom's Shoes. Right? Little info on Tom's Shoes. They're founded by in 2006 by Blake Mikowski. They have a one-for-one program. So for every single pair of shoes that you buy, they actually donate one pair to someone in need. That's their cause. But it's not just shoes. It's Sight, Water, Safe Birth, Kindness. They do anti-bullying programs, Water for the Needy, et cetera, et cetera. And they work with over 100 partners in 70 countries. Tom's, as mentioned by Forbes, Inc. magazine, a bunch of others, et cetera, they're actually one of the top brands for millennials because of, number one, they support a cause, and they're extremely successful among millennials as well. What's your cause? Here's an example of a school district that actually used a little bit of emotion, showed a cause in one of their social media outreaches. Parkway School District in St. Louis. If you haven't seen this video, I highly recommend you look it up. They strapped a GoPro onto Adriana, a kindergartner, on her first day of school. So you got to see her wake up in the morning, run around, eat her breakfast, hop on a bus, make her first friend, high-five the principal as she's walking into school, put her Ninja Turtles backpack into her cupboard, and sit down for her first day of class. Short little video, and they blasted out all over social media. Great, right? Well, guess what? They got positive press. And it's not just locally. Nationally, Pop Sugar, Daily Mail, Ellen DeGeneres, Mirror, Huffington Post, and internationally as well. So just because they put a little bit of emotion into their video, into their content, it was picked up nationally and went viral. So people all over the world, all over the country, knew about this little girl. So definitely tie some emotion, whether it be a picture, whether it be a video, whether it be your content that you're generating, into your content. Number 5, make Google your BFF. Make it your best friend. We'll definitely talk about why. So first of all, let's start off, why search engines, right? Because when a millennial wants to dive deeply into any topic, they first start with search engines. Vast majority of start with search engines. The next, and it's not even close, Facebook. So knowing that search engines are pretty much their first go-to, why Google? In 2015, 83% of all searches were done on Google. Not even close. So really want us to focus in on what our Google looks like. Funny joke I actually saw on Google. Where's the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of a Google search result. Because no one is going to go there, right? Especially with our 8-second attention span. So knowing that, what's on your page 1? Here's an example of a school district doing a great job on their page 1 of their Google search results. First, obviously the district website will always pop up with digestible content like the calendar, academic calendars, job opportunities, and all that type of stuff. They took it a step further and actually mapped out their district. They mapped out their schools. Can provide a link and show you how to actually do that on Google. It's very, very simple. But they mapped out their schools, so they're pushing all the content down. The most important, the information about the district up top. Next, they actually have their Wikipedia. Have you updated your Wikipedia? Have you looked at your Wikipedia page? Obviously, there's the Facebook, right? There it is. That's why we talked about having a social media presence. And they have their greatschools.org profile there as well. So if you're updating all this content about you on the website, pushing all the negative stories down. With my 8-second attention span as a millennial, I won't go past these 5 links. I was always told for every 1 negative story, you got to publish 10 good ones. The reason you do that and put it online is so you push all those negative stories down. No one's going to go to page 2 or 3. As a millennial, I'm going to research your district, and this is what I see. So that's why you should make Google your BFF. That's the first spot we're going to check when we're looking at your school district. So top 5 best practices. Let's recap. Number 1, use visuals. Use pictures, use video, use GIFs and memes. Number 2, make it snackable. Is it easy to digest your information? Number 3, make it mobile. Everyone has a smartphone nowadays, right? Especially millennials, and they're checking it 46 times a day. So make it available on your smartphone. Number 4, make it emotional. Tug at the heartstrings a little bit, and you'll be surprised at how quickly it can spread. And number 5, make Google your BFF, because that is the millennials' first go-to. And that's how you can communicate with millennials. But if you really think about it, who doesn't use Google nowadays? 83% of all searches were done on Google. I'm sure emotion will work for a lot of us, most of us. That's why it went viral on all those pages. Who doesn't have a smartphone nowadays? Pretty much everyone you know probably has one. Who wouldn't like their information easily digestible, quick and easy to understand? And who didn't respond better to the puppy's picture rather than the text puppies? So really, the secret I want to leave with you today is, yes, you are shaping how you communicate with millennials, but in doing so, you'll be able to communicate with all of your audiences as well. Awesome. So if you're interested on what we'll do right now is we'll actually go ahead and take some questions if they're in there. But if you're interested in learning how Peachjar can help you better communicate with your millennials in the rest of your district, give us a call. There's my information right there. All right. What I will do is hop in and take a peek at any questions. Just got a question. Yes, we will be sending out the deck as well as a follow-up. I believe, I just got a question. It was, I thought current high school students were millennials. What is the generation called after millennials? Those are actually called Gen Z. A lot of what you do to communicate with millennials will actually work with Gen Z as well. But yeah, so they're called Gen Z. how do you mark a? So one of the questions I just got, how do you mark your school district on the Google map? We'll send out a link to that. Actually, if you do a quick Google search on marking your school district, you can actually set the boundaries, and they'll show you how to do it as well. So we can send out a link, or you can do your own Google search right there. Another question we just got, do you have a recommendation for a school iPhone app? We're actually partnered with Blackboard. I think they have an incredible app that brings everything into one spot for you. Definitely take a peek at theirs. It's one I work with very closely. Just got a question on my thoughts on a mobile app versus a mobile-friendly website. I like having both. It's kind of like the difference of having the Facebook app on your phone versus the Facebook website, right? You can always go to the website. It's mobile friendly. It's awesome. But the app brings in so much more. It's not just the website and the news and type of stuff like that, right? If you have a website, for instance, that's mobile friendly, maybe some of the links, some of the partners, other tools that you use aren't mobile friendly. So when parents are trying to log into, say, one of their other accounts and it's not a mobile friendly website, then the user experience becomes a little off and they get a little frustrated. With an app, everything's basically built for that app so it fits perfectly. All right. Wait for a few more questions coming in. Oh, wow. It's got an influx of questions here. How do I find out if we have a district app and not just a Google page? Definitely check with your district. That they should know, or you can even just check the App Store and do a quick search on your school district. If you see it, you have one. If you don't, it's not in there. It's got a question how to embed videos and flyers, same as web links. Similarly, you would take a picture, embed it inside of your PDF or so, and then just put a link to it, and that's how you'd be able to embed at least a YouTube video or some sort. I just got a question on QR codes. Do people use them? I've seen them used less and less nowadays. I think the only time myself that I use a QR code is when I'm boarding a flight and there's my Southwest QR code to use that. Other than that, I haven't seen any. It's just the learning curve is a little steep on that. You have to download an app and then therefore use the QR code. I haven't seen that as much nowadays. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Just got a question on what tool do we recommend to push things to multiple accounts. I myself use Hootsuite for all my social media apps. I heard there's a little problem with Facebook, not just with the new algorithms that they use, but Hootsuite's been the one that I know of and that I use. Just got a question on what about RSS feeds? Is it being used by millennials? Yes and no. The thing with RSS feeds are I actually need, as a millennial, to go there and register and basically opt into a system. The more steps it takes me to do something, the less likely I am to do it, right? So if you automatically opt me into the RSS feed, yeah, it's going to be there until I opt out. So I would highly recommend doing some sort of opt-out system rather than opt-in. Just got a question on how exactly does Peachjar work. Basically, we're a cloud-based platform. Anything that you send out from the district level, school level, or even your community organizations will be, with one click, emailed out to your parents in a visual format, posted onto your website, also in a visual format, and automatically put into the district app if you have one. You have an approval process to look at everything coming in from your community organization. So if you click approve, it automatically shows up on all three spots. From the district or school level, you're able to send stuff out. Again, we'd love to show you a demo on all that, so feel free to reach out to me, give us a call, and we could definitely set one of those up for you. Just got a question on the different platforms or the different social media platforms that parents use, or millennial parents. Are they using Facebook, social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram? I think, yes, we are using Facebook for more. I myself, I'm a heavy Facebook user myself. Twitter I use for very up-to-the-minute news. For instance, I'm a huge San Diego Charger fan. When they were doing that NFL vote to see if they're moving cities, I'm on Twitter the entire day because I need that up-to-the-second news. So that's where I will go for that type of information. Instagram is huge. I highly recommend using an Instagram from a district level. You could definitely showcase your sports, your athletics, your music, all the programs you have going on. It's been hugely adopted. I have some districts actually dabbling with Snapchat as well. They'll share stories from schools and that type of thing. One of my colleagues, Shane Haggerty over in Ohio, he did a great presentation on how school districts can use Snapchat. So we can definitely, if you reach out to me, I'll definitely get you in touch with him as well. But those are basically the main four. I've seen some districts use Pinterest. That's more of, I believe, more female dominated. Me myself being male, I don't use Pinterest as much, but definitely Facebook, Twitter for up-to-the-minute news, Instagram for pictures, and then Snapchat is the one thing I've seen growing in school districts. Just got a question on when do millennials want paper? For me, rarely. When I get a receipt at the store, I throw it away. I rarely check for paper nowadays because everything, I'm more likely to lose a piece of paper. Typically, if for paper, I like the simple thank you notes, right? A little bit shows that you're taking a little bit more time. If you want to show some recognition, that's when I like paper. But besides that, in terms of news, in terms of getting my information and that type of thing, I don't like paper myself, and I think you'll start seeing that trend as well. Just millennials aren't using paper as much as we used to. Also got a question on how millennials feel about surveys. The surveys I take, typically there's some sort of incentive at the very end of them. So, free $5 gift card here and there. But again, millennials do like to have their voice heard. So if you give them that opportunity to provide feedback, they will take it. I still believe in surveys. I think they're a very useful tool, especially to get a pulse of what's going on at your district. Just got a question on can templates in Peachjar be customized? You can customize the text and fonts and that type of thing on the templates, but it's more static. If you want a great design tool, we always recommend going to canva.com. It's free, and there's all sorts of templates that you can provide. Facebook, posts, Instagram, newsletters, et cetera, et cetera. We'll leave just a few more minutes for questions, get the last few ones in here. So, and just to reiterate, the place for free templates is canva.com, canva.com. All right. I'll leave another minute for questions here, and if not, we will definitely send out the recording of this, the PDF of the slide deck for you as well, and some answers to the questions too. So we'll have that in a document for you as well. So if there aren't any other questions, I appreciate you all for your time this morning, or afternoon for some of us on the East Coast. And good luck in presenting to your millennials. Hopefully I see some great content out there, everybody. Thank you.